Hey guys, hope you all well. Right, I thought I'd go through some of the jobs we got up and coming. Behind the scenes work, which I am now sharing a lot of because you guys seem to be enjoying it. Anyway, we have a cluster of old British bikes, and very nice too. There we go. We'll go through them one by one and briefly go through the jobs I've got to do to them. I think we'll start from the top. Up there on the bench, we have a Francis Barnett. Francis Barnett Coventry. So, as the crow flies, that is about 5 miles from its birthplace, where we are now. Far enough out of Coventry not to be bothered by the place. Nothing against anyone from Coventry. Yeah, so Francis Barnett, beautiful little thing. I don't know a massive amount about these bikes, but I'll try briefly a bit on each one. So I believe the Francis Barnett is a 125 2-stroke, 3-speed. I'm guessing, sort of guessing. It's got some quirky little things going on, actually. Well, obviously, when we get to the jobs on these, we'll go around them in a bit more detail. But one of the things that I really like about it, obviously being a 2-stroke, it needs oil in the petrol. And round the other side, it has a tank, an oil tank. Oh no, that's not connected to anything. It's just got a tap on the bottom. So what you do, you take the petrol cap off the petrol tank. That has a long tube connected to it. And basically you top that up from your little oil tank on the side of the bike and pour it into your petrol, which I think is fantastic. I love things like that. Typical British engineering. So yeah, what I've got to do with that is make a rear stand for it. So on a lot of these old bikes, especially the hardtail ones, the rigids, they would have well, pretty much like this on this one here, like that. Yeah, I've got to make one of them. And the guy has supplied some drawings. I'm going to do my best to get as close to that as possible and make it look original as possible. I've got to try and source some oval tube. I know oval tube is available, but it's whether I can get any locally. If not, I will actually make some oval tube, and not by crushing round tube. No, that's just a horrible thing to do, and it never goes a nice shape. It always dips in. Yeah, so I will make some if I have to. So yeah, we've got to make this little rear stand. We've got to do all the little mounting points where the springs would have gone. I believe the stand was mounted on this point here where the exhaust is also mounted. So we've got to have a bit of thinking time on that and crack on with that. That is going to be the next job, actually. And also I need to straighten the rear brake pedal out because that is all shapes for some reason. So that needs a little tweak here and there. But what a fantastic looking bike. And the bicycle pump at the front of the frame as well. It's brilliant. Twin port. Nice exposed flywheel. It's a very nice bike. I really do like it. I bet there's not many of them about. Anyway, next we have a 1952. Oh, I think that's 1948, by the way. Next we have a 1952 BSA B31 plunger this time, going up in the world slightly. Right, with this one, this needs a thorough clean and a little bit of work on the tank. As you can see, I don't know how well the GoPro will pick this out. It is filthy. Yeah. She's a mucky old girl. But the plan is with this, Not a restoration or anything like that, because I think that'll destroy the character of the bike. It's got quite a bit of character, this bike, in my opinion. It's going to have a thorough clean and sort of have an oily rag finish. It's apparently a very, very good engine in this bike, so it will be a really good usable classic. What I do like about this, it's got most of the original fixings on there, fittings and fixings, as in all the levers, the switches, they're all original. Clocks, ammeter, light switch are all original parts of the bike, which is sometimes rare, especially them light switches, because yeah, most of them just fell to bits. But yeah, it's nice to see. So the biggest job on that is the tank. Now what I'm going to wait to do is clean all the bike. It's never going to be shiny concourse show queen, never. It, like I say, it's going to be an oily rag sort of usable classic, and that's what will give it its charm and character, I do believe. So I'm going to clean it, see how it comes up, then I am going to try and replicate that finish on the tank, because all the top of the tank should actually be the same colour as the bike. It looks absolutely awful at the moment. The inside of the tank's very good. I've had a look in there. So what I've got to try and do is get the best colour match I can, and I think I will paint it in a semi-gloss, because this is just not going to shine like a brand new bike. It's just going to have like a sheen to it, I think. So yeah, I'm going to try and replicate that as best as I can when I paint the tank, so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, which it would do if I did paint it gloss. But I'm sure I can get pretty close. So yeah, that's going to have a damn good clean up. All the chrome and alloy and paintwork all scrubbed, buffed up, and yeah, as best as we can get it. And then we'll get that running, because this hasn't been run for a fair bit. It basically got caught up in a garage that was leaking like mad, and it just went unnoticed. Anyway, I think I'll get it back to some sort of a standard, and obviously it will be a very usable bike. Right, next we got a little beauty next, my favourite one. It is absolutely stunning. An old Norton. Look at that. Beautiful thing that is. I believe this is 1933. Rigid back end. So what I've got to do with this is basically make it look like a bobber. Now don't all recoil in shock and horror. No, that needs to be standard. That's fine, because all the jobs that I'm going to do on this bike will be reversible. I'm welding no extra lugs to the frame. There's no extra brackets going on it at all. I'm going to utilise all the little lugs and mounting points that the bike has to make parts to make it look like an old school bobber. So it's going to have one of my side mount number plates on there, which again I'll utilise whatever fixings we've got around this area to mount that. It's having a single saddle on there, which he has supplied. Obviously the spring points are no problem. I've just got to get some brackets coming from under here off the tank mounts to hold the pivot point of the seat. I think I need to make a battery tray for it. He's just sent the oil can for it. So yeah, a mud guard close to the wheel, a short mud guard close to the wheel with some bars coming down, just bits like that. Headlight, gotta put the headlight on, but it, like I say, if he wants to put this bike back as totally standard, it's just a case of unbolting everything I've done and putting all standard stuff back onto the bike. So we're not destroying an old classic, a 1933 Norton. It will all be reversible. And this look at this, look at that. it has a 1970s dog turd in the tank. Those of my age will know exactly what I'm on about. Because when we were kids, all dog turds were white. That's true. Google it. If any younger people are watching the channel, it's a true. I'm not making it up. All dog turds were white throughout all the parks in the country. Yeah, no one cleaned it up back then. Yeah, you'd often stand in that stuff. Am I getting an happy memory from a dog turd? That's ridiculous. I think it was probably something to do with the really poor food that was available back then for dogs. Probably just crunched up bone. I don't know. But yeah, everywhere was littered in 1970s white dog turds. Back to bikes. So yeah, this is basically the jobs I've got coming up. There's more. I have some that have been outstanding for about 400 years that I've got to get onto, but I'm just going to plow on with them. These are the ones I'll be sharing, and obviously the BMW GS, that'll be back in, and I'll be sharing that. And whatever else, there is other things in the pipeline. I've had so many people asking me to do little jobs. If I haven't got back to you, please be patient. There's only one of me, and I'm trying to keep the stress levels low and just come in and enjoy my day and do my jobs and share it with you guys. So I'm just taking steps at a time. So I'm not ignoring you. If you have messaged me, I will do my best to get to people who have asked me about doing work. So I'll tell you one thing I was looking at earlier. These two bikes here. I'm thinking, when the British motorcycle industry just disappeared. You look at these. There's a 20-year gap between these two bikes. I know we've got very different front ends. To be honest with you, these telescopic forks, when you're plunging them, don't feel no better than these ones. You guarantee they're very basic internals. I think your Norton road holders were the ones to have back in the day, weren't they? But no, that's just they're both like pogo sticks. But look at the engines. They are so similar. They really are. I know there'll be differences on bits and bobs, but look at this. Not much change. Even this is exactly the same, actually. Bear in mind, there's a 20-year gap between these bikes. Yeah, the engine's quite furry on this one. 20 years of separation and barely any progress. That says a lot. I remember a friend of mine telling me a story. His dad worked for the Triumph. It would have been when it was probably in Meriden, I do believe. And he remembers a group of Japanese people coming round the factory. One of them was probably called Mr. Kawasaki. Fluent Japanese. I can't even speak English properly. Yeah, and it seems like these people was doing a bit of research, maybe. Because not long after that, well, I say not long, Japanese bikes really started making an appearance in this country, and far superior to what we were building. Far superior. And yeah, the British motorcycle industry basically collapsed completely. Everything. And we had a lot. There's names you've probably never even heard of. Like I say, just up the road from here, Coventry. If you go into the Coventry Motor Museum, I don't know if it's still there, there's a board in there of all the motor industry and bicycle industry that was in the city. And the list is huge. And it's all gone. Absolutely everything has gone. Which is a shame, really, but progress, we just didn't keep up with it. and the Japanese came out on top, basically. I think a few companies tried. They tried all of a sudden to do some improvements and, get something out there, but it was too late. Far too late. I think Triumph had an attempt at a few things. But yeah, obviously we've got Triumph again. But can you truly call it British? Yes, it's a British name. But I don't think there's many bikes being put together in this country, is they? Well, I think with Triumph it's possibly India and Taiwan. I don't know. I'm 5 minutes away from the Triumph factory, literally 5 minutes away. I've never been there. Apparently you can go on factory tours. It's got a cafe there. It does a bike night. I have never been. I've rode past it a million times, but I've never been in there. Maybe I should make a point of doing that. Yeah, is Triumph truly British? I don't know. There's probably people wanting to gun me down right now saying it is. I don't know. I'm just going by that. I know there's Triumph bikes coming out of India and Taiwan, I do believe, and maybe other places. I don't know. Norton as well. They sort of resurrected themselves in recent years, and that didn't go very well, did it? I don't know the complete story about that, but I believe the guy that done that was a complete crook. I have a friend that had one-to-one dealings with him over a certain bike and ended up in his office having a heated discussion about where his bike was. Yeah, apparently he wasn't a very nice person. I don't know. I'm just going by what, the stories I have heard. Yeah, has Norton got someone else trying to get it up and running now? Is it up and running? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, the previous attempt didn't end well. Apparently there was people losing their pensions and stuff like that. Yeah, not too good. Anyway, enough of that. I'm sure you all know the stories. If not, I'm sure the Google machine will tell you the ins and outs. I don't fully understand it or know. But yeah, that's the way it is. So yeah, they're the next jobs, basically. What I'll do is we'll be starting with the Francis Barnett, because there's only a couple of jobs to do on that. And then the Norton will go on the bench to get them done. And sort of in between everything, I will be cleaning the BSA. The BSA I can do any time, sort of in the evenings or early mornings. It's, obviously cleaning things is not going to be noisy. With there being fabrication jobs on the Francis Barnett and the Norton, I've obviously got to do them in the day. But the BSA will sort of happen between everything. But I will keep you updated. I do believe BSA's sort of come along again, hasn't it? I'm sure I've heard stories that they ain't very good. I don't know. But anyway, that's the next few jobs. So hopefully I'll plough through them and you guys will watch them. And obviously we have the BMW GS coming back in. I have two jobs that have been outstanding for, like I say, about 400 years. One being a Enfield. I don't think I really need to share another one of them. And one being another BSA, which I really just want to get done and gone in between doing all these jobs. So that will do. Next time we should be on the Francis Barnett. Anyway, cheers for watching, guys. Take care.